right, so now we have local installed, and we can start making our site. So, you probably have nothing over here. You should have nothing over here. So what we want to do is we just need to make a new site. So the easiest way to do that is there's this little plus button. Just click on that guy, and it's going to ask for a name. So we're going to be working on this one together. So we'll just call this one cone site. Sounds great. Let's look at the advanced options. So this is where it's going to save it to. So the local domain is going to be conesite.local. So the idea here is that it's not the same thing as .com. It would just be .local. And then it's saving it to the cone site, local cone site. Okay, so if you hit browse, you can actually choose where you want it to save to, but I'm just going to leave it underneath. It has a folder. I'm just going to leave it there. That way I'm not dealing with any of that, but just be aware if you're looking for the site. There's actually another way I'll show you later on how to get to it, but that's where it's saving to. So it has existing local data. Oh. Used that one before, apparently. So, cone, site cone. There we go. Continue. There we go. Preferred, so you can see is PHP. The web server we're using is Nginx, and then MySQL is the database. Okay, so that's basically the main technology that we're using. You can change that, but you probably don't know any of this means anyway, so you just leave it on preferred. It should be good to go. And then hit continue, and it's going to ask for a WordPress username and a WordPress password. Even when you do your own projects, what I want you to do for this is the username should be VCP, and you guess what the password is going to be? VCP. The reason why I needed you to do that is because that way I can log into it. I don't need you to put some password in there, especially if you use a password you actually use, because then I'm going to have it in order to get into your site. So VCP and VCP should be the username and the password. Let's see. Yeah, we're not doing anything with that. So then hit add site, and it's going to start making the site. I'm going to pause the video, but you're going to notice that when it goes through this, it's going to pop up and it's going to ask for permissions. My computer's slow, so I don't want you to have to wait with me while I go through and do it, but it'll pop up and go, does this have authorization? You're like, yes. Okay, so whatever it asks you to do, just do it. So now it has made our site. So it's site cone. Woo! Okay, so there's going to be two options here. Let's do both of them. Let's go ahead, and you can see right now it's live. See there's a little green dot there, and you can turn it off, and I'll show you how to do that later. But right now, as long as this program is running, we can access the site. You cannot access the site without this running, because this is creating the environment that's allowing it to exist. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click on View Site, and it's going to open it up in a web browser. And we're going to give it a second. And pull that off. All right, and it looks like this. It gives me the generic WordPress site start. All right, so I'm going to click on the View Site. That's that. And then I'm going to click on Admin. And that's going to look like this. Okay, and I'm just going to combine those two tabs here. So I'm just going to take this guy and stick this in there. I just like to have both so that way I can see what the site's looking like. You know what I mean? So in the admin, if you remember, it was VCP, tab, VCP. And then we'll hit, let's remember me too. And we'll save. Okay. And then you hit login. And boom. The other way to get into it, just so you are aware, is, I'm just going to make another one of this. Besides clicking on that button, is if you do this and then you do WP-admin, that's how you get to that page. If I do it now, I think it's just going to log me in because I already logged in. But that will get you to that page. Okay, so just so you are aware. Okay, so we are now logged in, and I'm just going to quickly kind of cover what the interface looks like. Today's going to be kind of an easier day. This is the dashboard. Basically, these are like the latest events. Anything you might have installed lately will pop up here. So it's like, welcome to WordPress, right? So I'm just going to close out of that. And then it's got like site health status and anybody that's posted blogs and news about WordPress. And you can also put other items in here. There's like plugins you can download that'll tell you like what, how many people visited your site. So like analytics and, you know, how your how you're showing up in search engines and things like that. So there's all sorts of different stuff. But basically, it's like the first little thing that pops up is what you see here. But over on the left is kind of the main menu, and that's got all of the items of things that you would want. So right off the bat, you're going to see posts and pages. Technically, posts and pages are the same thing, but posts are like blog posts. So, like people might write, you can see them over here. Like these are posts. So there'll be like a title, and then it'll say, hey, well, let's click on it, recent posts. So, this is a comment to get started. So you'll have like posts. So if you have a site that people can like leave messages on, or you make posts about like, maybe you have like social media content, and you document it inside of here. That's what posts are. And then there's also pages, and pages are what you're seeing. So like this is showing posts, but this is showing this post. But pages are basically the same thing, but when you say a page, you basically mean, your main pages like you would normally see on a web page. But technically, as far as WordPress is concerned, they're kind of the same thing. They just have a different tag on the end of them that says this is a post and this is a page. But really, they work kind of very similarly. We're not going to use posts at all because we're not making that. There's also media. So anything that you upload, like any images you want to embed into your site or files or anything like that, it's going to show up in the media. So basically, media is kind of like your folder of things that you are going to put into your site. Okay. So that's what the media section is for. Pages are how you're going to make your web pages. So right now we only have two. We have the sample page and we have privacy policy, which we'll probably get rid of both of those, but that's what those are there. And you can add new pages, and you can see all your pages here. Okay. Comments are comments on your posts and stuff. Again, we're not going to use that at all. Appearance deals with the appearance of your site. So in WordPress, the main controlling factor are your themes. The themes are the things that control the way your site looks. You can also use customize, which allows you to adjust the site on the front end, meaning you can look at the website as you're making adjustments. Depends on the theme what it allows you to do. We'll cover that a little bit later. Plugins basically will add features onto the site. So the idea is that, let's say you have a website, but you're like, oh man, I wish it had like a slider, you know what I mean? But I want like a cool slider that looks like 3D, like it's one of those, like, those ones that look like 3D cubes where it like folds. I wish it had that. There's probably a plugin. So you can download a plugin, and then you can basically, it'll have a slider, and then you can use that slider in your site. Or, oh man, I wish my website had a calculator. I guarantee if you go and look for a calculator, you'll find a calculator plugin that you can embed into your site. There's all sorts of different, or I wish it would automatically, say good morning or good afternoon. There's probably a plugin that you can download. So that's what plugins can do. They can add features to the site on the front end, the part that the user sees, and they can add features on the back end, which is the part that you're seeing now. So for instance, like what I was saying before, you want to be able to see how many people visited your site. There's plugins that will tell you, oh, these are the people that have visited your site, where they're visiting you from. Or ones that let you, like for instance, one thing that's really stupid is, let's say I make my one page and I want my next page to be kind of like this one. There's no duplicate. There's no way of like making another, you can't copy this page. Kind of stupid, right? But there's plugins that will duplicate pages for you. So there's back-end ones that make it easier to make the pages, and then there's front-end ones that kind of will like add features or things that you can see on that end. So you're usually on one end or the other. They're either helping you make the site, you know what I mean, or they're changing something about the site. Okay, so that's what the plugins are, and we'll install a couple, and I'll show you those. Users, this is where you control who gets to use the site and who has access to the site. One of the main reasons why, it's one of the main reasons why this works really well for web designers using WordPress is that, let's say you're making a website and it's for a restaurant. Well, restaurants' menus change, right? Or let's say it's a real estate company, right? They're going to sell houses and they're going to have to post new houses. So you could make the website, but if they're not able to access it and post new houses that are for sale, you're going to have to do that every time for them. And that's going to really bog you down. You want to make the site for them, but then let them like be able to enter content. And so in the user section, you can make it so that you have the utter control over the whole thing, but then you can give access to your client or to your client's employees and be like, you are allowed to put posts inside of this page and this page alone, and you're not allowed to do anything else. That way they don't muddle in with your stuff, but they're able to update content where they need to. So there's a nicety there where you can make the site, make it all look pretty and stuff, and then give it to the client and be like, hey, you have privileges to log into the site and add, change the menu and do these things. If you need something bigger, come back to me and I can, that way they can still get a little bit of the Benjamins. I will, make those other adjustments, but that way they can do that part, and then you can just handle, the overall structure and the look and everything else. Okay. Tools, don't use it all, but basically it allows you to export out like your whole site as like I actually have tried to use this a couple times and never worked. It always crashes. So, but basically it's like random stuff I don't use. Settings, we will be using this a little bit, but basically it's the settings of your site. So you can set the default time, like, like for instance, when I was showing the post, right? The post will say what time they were posted. This will say, oh, I want to use Eastern time. You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff. And then collapse menu collapses the menu. Go figure. Yeah, so that is the general overview here. Now, once you do log into the site, if I click on this here, it'll actually open the site up. But what you're going to notice is, you see when I opened just the site up, see how it looks like this? It looks like you would see it, right? On the front end, the user. But once you've logged in, you can actually, now you get this special bar up top here. Because now we're on the site, but we're logged in underneath our name. So we have special access. We get special privileges that we can actually customize it. And I'll show you how to do that in a little bit. But that's what you do here. And if I click on this again, it'll bring me back to the dashboard. And then I can, be back on this end of it. Okay. So there's kind of two ends. There's not, to be rather honest, even this, like watch, if I refresh now, it's going to give me that little bar because I'm logged in. But when we first did it, I wasn't. There's not really a whole lot you can do here. I don't really use this hardly at all, but okay. So that's the back end. That's the front end. This is the back end. Okay. So let's just do some real generic-y things. And then, when we're done with that, we will be done. So what I want to do is this. There are two primary things that we need to do, okay? One is choose a theme. I alluded to it earlier, so I'm going to go to Appearance, and I'm going to go to Themes. And by default, it has 2020, 2019, 2017. For some reason, they skipped 2018. I don't know why. But these come installed with WordPress every time you download it. These are already in the Themes folder. Basically, what themes are, they're kind of like Bootstrap, where they're a framework. But more than that, they actually control the graphics. But they're basically controlling how your whole site is going to look. Like, you're going to put your own pictures and stuff in there, but the way that it's laid out, like see how there's a big picture here, and then it's just got little items on the here, and then this one's got like the menu way up here, and it's got like this welcome, and then this, that is going to be what your site's going to look like. So the theme is going to have the largest effect on what your site is going to look like. So eventually when you make your own WordPress site, not the labs, you are going to want to spend a lot of time. And I would even download some, see what they look like, and then be like, no, not that one, not this one. Because you can download them and test them and see what, what I mean? Maybe, well, that one was good, that one wasn't. And then kind of go from there. But they're basically the framework. If you've ever done Wix or Squarespace or any of those other things, there's like those templates. It's kind of the template to which you're going to build your site into. Now, different themes will graphically look different, but a lot of them actually have far-reaching or far different capabilities. So they might have a lot more capabilities as far as like customization on how to make it look, where you can change what the title looks like. It has all these different font options, and it can change color and make it interactive. And but they can also have like built-in features where like this one has this really cool slider, and it has this like portfolio thing where you can click on one item and it pops up, and it it has a light box, and some of them have like cool features, and some have like really good graphics, and some of them have a lot of these things. Some of them are real bare bones. They barely have anything in them. So there's all sorts of themes. So you really it's hard to tell by just looking at them, because obviously they kind of show you the best of what it would look like. So you really want to take your time and think about what you want to do for your theme. I did on the website. Let's see, up here. I found this one. I mean, as you can go online. What I would suggest when you go to do it on your own is just go online and look up like best free WordPress themes for whatever it is that you're doing, right? So we'll say you can see for food blogs, for business, for portfolios, for like photography, let's say for photographers. And then you'll find lists where they'll say the 11 best WordPress themes, the new best themes of 10 inspiring WordPress theme templates for designers. There you go, 25 best themes of 2020, and you can look through them and they'll give you like these quick previews and they'll give you the names, and then once you know the name you can go ahead and use that as kind of your what you want to do. Okay, so this was like one that I had found. This is probably old. It's about 50. I think I just did it because I had a lot, but there's a bunch of free ones. Now here's what I would say too. You can see Javelin Premium. Depending, the ones that you pay for, and there's a lot that you pay for, will have a lot more features than ones that are free. There's a lot of them that are free that they have a paid version. What they do is they give you kind of like, oh, these other features are here if you pay for it, but if you don't, you just get this. So if you get it, and I'm anticipating everyone's just going to do free ones in the future, but just eventually, if you were going to make your own business, just pay for a real theme. It'll be worth it in the long run. It'll have a lot more features. Also, if you pay them money, they're responsible. If you're just getting a free one, they don't owe you anything. But anyway, so you want to spend a lot of time looking for a theme. To put this in perspective, my theme here that I used for my website, I think I paid like $250 for it. So it's not cheap. But that's like the nicest theme that's there. Most of the themes you're going to find are be like 10, 20 bucks. Okay, so they're not usually like crazy expensive. Mine's expensive because it's very, very adaptable. I can do a lot with it. But and also I didn't pay. Some of them were subscription based. I didn't pay the subscription. I just paid for it straight up. So, anyways, what you'd want to do is basically search for all of and I spent a lot of time on it, so might as well for a theme that works right. Okay, so look at these themes. I've already done this before, so I already know which one. But basically, once you find the name of the one that you like, what you're going to want to do is go back to your website. And then you can search install themes. That's obviously not what we want. We want to add new. And then it'll give you a whole list of featured ones. Oh, look at these featured ones. Ooh. Right? And then you can do like popular ones. Now, one of the things that's weird to me, going to sound funny, but like normally in design, I'm like, oh, you want to separate stuff and you want to be different and you want to like not have the same thing as everybody else. And generally speaking, I think that's still true. But a lot of times, actually, with websites and stuff, or with design, there's trends, like there's design trends, and you kind of want to follow those. So because it makes your stuff look more trustworthy. So getting popular ones actually is not a bad thing. Just make sure that you customize it enough that it's not exactly like the template. I'm just going to go ahead and search for a theme. And I'm just going to search for, what was that one that was? Oh, Shapely. That was one that I used before. So I'm just going to use the Shapely one. Looks pretty simple. So I'm going to do Shapely, and then I'm going to install it. Okay? And when it says installing, what it's actually doing is just downloading it. I don't know why they call it installing it, but it's actually just downloading it into a themes folder inside of your thing. Then you can click on activate, and I think it'll pop you back out to your, okay, so it's going to pop you back out to here, and then you can see this one is now activated. These are here, and you can activate them at any moment, and then these will become the theme. But right now we have this Shapely one as our theme, okay? So that's the theme that we're using. Yay! And if I go here, and if I refresh, you're going to see my site's going to look different now. Woo! Not great, but it looks different. Okay, so we're using that one. So we're going to use Shapely theme. Okay. Now, depending on the theme, sometimes the themes will actually add stuff in here. Sometimes the plugins will add stuff in here. So you can see underneath appearance, there's now this About Shapely. And I don't know if this theme editor was there before, but looks like it wasn't. Okay. So that's one thing I want. The other thing I want to do is install some plugins that are going to make it a little bit easier to make the site. Okay, so I'm going to go to plugins. Now it has some plugins already installed. Oh, it doesn't. Usually it does. I don't know why it doesn't here. Maybe because we did it locally. I don't know. Usually there's plugins there, but they're not there. So we're going to go ahead and add new plugins, just like we did before. And we want to do duplicate. I think it's duplicate Yoast, duplicate post. I don't feel like that was it. I think it's this one I've been using. Whatever one's got the most is usually what you want. I don't think I'm used to this one. I'm going to do this one here, this duplicate page. And I'm going to hit install now. That's just going to let me duplicate pages. So when I make one page, I can just duplicate it to make the next one. I'm going to click on activate as well. So same thing as before, install and then activate. Yay! All right, let's add another one. And this one we're going to add, it's going to be called Elementor. All right, and you can see it's got 5+ million excuse me, installs. Okay, so I'm going to hit install. It's going to take a little bit longer. So what this one does is it allows you to make the website on the front end here, and you'll see when we start doing it. I don't think I'm going to do it this class. We'll do it next class, but it's a lot like the theme that I bought, but this one has a free version that you can install, which is what we're doing here. But it's much more easy to produce your site, and you can see you even have videos and stuff that pops up, right? So it's pretty fancy. So you can see this actually added its own menu item, that plugin. Okay, so you can see it added itself to the dashboard. Okay, so now we've got the Elementor plugin, and we've installed their theme and things like that. Before I start working on any of the other stuff, I just want to adjust my general settings. So we're going to go down to settings, and let's do general. There isn't really too much we got to do in here, but I just want to. So site title, we're calling it site cone, or let's just call it, this is the name. See how it says site cone? So that's the name of it, and we'll just say cones site. And then just another WordPress site. You can see right here it says just another WordPress site. Just an example site, we'll call it. Then there's the URL and the site URL, nothing special there. Blah, 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 blah. Here's our time zone. I don't know how time zones work. We're going to go with that for now because I don't know how we want our dates to show up. Honestly, most of this won't really matter. We'll save changes. Good. And then the other thing I want to do, which is kind of weird, is that right now, by default, the way that WordPress works is that the home page, when you go to a site that's made in WordPress, by default, the home page is whatever the last blog post was. And that's why it's showing this Hello World blog post, and it says blog on the top, which is obviously not what we want. So I want to force it to use a specific page as my home page. So underneath the settings here, which is kind of weird, it's underneath reading. Don't know why. Doesn't make sense to me. But you'll see it says your homepage displays your latest post. Nah, I'm good on that. I want a static page. You can choose a post, which again, that's stupid. We're gonna go here, and right now it's on sample page. Let's go ahead and do sample page. We'll change the name of it, and it should auto fix there. And the rest of this I don't really care about. Hit save changes. Yay. Okay, let's go to our pages now, and let's just set up a default page. I'm gonna go to this one. I'm gonna go ahead and hit le trash because my privacy policy is garbage. Oh, trash this too. I didn't see this a second ago. Okay. So now we have the sample page. What I can do is I can quick edit. Let's just quick edit it. And I'm going to call this home page. You can't see it because you're not allowed to. There you go. Home page. And we'll do the slug. We'll just call it home dash page. So the slug is the actual, you can't see it here, but that's the actual, like, in the browser, that's what the page is actually going to be called, just so you're aware. And then order 0, main page no, default template. We'll come back to that. I'm not really too worried about that. And then we'll hit update. Good. Now I'm going to hit this. I'm going to refresh. And now you can see home page is now my default page. Now it's not going to that blog post anymore. It's going to home page. Now, aesthetically, it's not great. But we will fix that in the next video. At this point, we've got all of our stuff set up to basically start making the site. Okay, and the next one you're gonna see this is gonna be a lot easier than doing the other stuff. There's a little bit of like setup where you got to kind of get things together, but it will make sense once you start doing it. And it's just it's very visual. So for some of you, a lot of you guys actually this semester in particular have been very code, like you're good at code. I think I have a lot of programming students. So you guys have been doing like fantastic. It's actually, I think, been my best class has been this semester, oddly enough, because even with the pandemic, you guys are doing great. But for the other ones that coding is not as like straightforward, this actually will be a lot easier for you. Okay, there'll be more opportunity for you to shine in this system probably than the other ones were. Okay. So we're going to call that good here. So I'm going to say, yay, great. You don't have to save anything here because it's automatically, every time you do anything, it's automatically updated as long as you tell it to. When we did quick edit, it automatically updated. I think it says update quick edit right here. We hit update. So cancel. So that, so that's good. That's activated. You don't have to hit like save or anything. That's just what it is. So I'm just going to close out of this and I'm going to open up my website here. Okay, so it's still running right now. What I need to do in order to submit this assignment to me, because this is on your computer, I need you to give me a zip file. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to right click over top of this guy and you're going to go, not show folder, export. It's going to say stuff, just leave that alone. I don't know what this is supposed to be. Okay, and then I'm just going to call it site cone. I'm just going to save it right to the desktop and I'll say export. This may take a moment. Now I suggest even when you're working on your own site to do this because I have had issues where, and this is going to be my word of warning, and this is what kind of sucks, where I will make a site and just randomly stops working and I can't figure out why. It just broke and I don't know. So, I would, every time that you're done, even if you weren't submitting it to me, like in the future, I would always just export out the zip folder. Not that that's going to save you. That might still be corrupted too and not work. I'm not sure why it would or wouldn't work, but it gives you one more opportunity of maybe having something that would work. So when that's done, what you're going to do is you're going to have this little folder here, this zip folder. Don't look at all my busyness. You can see I haven't cleaned my desktop in a while. You're going to take this folder, and this is what you're going to submit to me. Because then, when I get it, I can go here and import site. So if you try to import somebody else's site, you click import site, and then you don't unzip the file. You just select that zip folder, and it will unzip it and install it onto that's how I look at your guys' stuff. Okay? Once you've done that, what you're going to want to do is this. And this is just to, again, try to make it so it doesn't crash on you. You're going to hit stop site, and it's going to say stopping. But notice it's saying for all. Don't hit X right off the bat. So, I have had issues where this just didn't work, and then like it gets corrupted and all that other business. What I'll tell you to do now, at this point, is minimize this, and walk away, and go eat something or whatever. Come back later. Wait like, 15 minutes or something just to make sure that, because it might look like it finished everything, but I have had issues where it like didn't actually close the items. And if stuff is activated, like moving and you hit close, it seems to make it corrupt. So you want to make sure it's like actually done. So go do that. And then when you're done, you come back in like, 10, 15 minutes. You can just go ahead and you would just close this out. And then the next time that you want to work on it, what you're going to do is you're going to open up Flywheel. It's going to look just like this. You'll have probably one site up here. You'll select it. You're going to hit Start Site. So let's say you want to like stop in the middle of it. And then you can go ahead and hit Admin. And it'll bring you open to Admin, which is going to pop up over here. Watch it be corrupted. You'll see what I'm talking about. It's taking a while. And looks like it's going to work. And then it will pop open. It's not even asking me to log in because I was already logged in. It'll open it right up, and then you'll just start where you left off. Okay. So you start and you stop the site up in the top there. Okay. And then you can just click on admin or view site depending on what you're trying to do. And that's basically it. So just make sure you give me that zip folder. That's what you're going to submit, and that'll be it. And then next, the week after this, we will go ahead and start kind of laying it out. Now, the last site, just so you want to start thinking about this, you're going to make a WordPress site. It'll be your own custom site, whatever you want it to be. It's a final project. It's like whatever you want it to be. It's going to be a WordPress site. Usually people do like whatever your major is, or like employee or whatever. Okay, so it's up to you. That's it. So good luck. If you run into any issues, let me know. Hopefully this part works okay. And then, yeah, that'll be it.